Hey everyone, this is the after party after show. With me is the 420 atheist. Yeah, sorry, Sammy, for me just like unloading all that stuff, man. Literally, I just unloaded all of my work woes on Sammy in like 30 seconds.
No, I get it. It's pretty scary to think that it's still that bad in this day and age. And but it makes me, like, hearing you say that makes me remember every place I ever worked at. Until my own company, and I look at the conditions that my participants live in, and like compared to what we're talking about, it's upper class.
Yeah.
This is high quality living.
Yeah.
Happy, comfortable, active people.
Yeah.
And I've actually ended up having the other problem where my staff have become so complacent. They're so used to their job being easy that when I need them to do extra, which is still a far cry from what you're talking about,
right?
They're arcing up and complaining and resisting.
The incident that we were talking about, I'm literally telling someone on the phone, this is the job. I'm telling, of course, because this is why I'm so popular, by the way, amongst my superiors too. It's like I end up having conversations with them like, yeah, this is difficult, but and what I don't want to be is that guy who's like done the job before. Like, I've done management before and I've gotten those phone calls and I'm like, well, it's the job. This is what you sign up for, unfortunately, right? This is what the job is. Even if it's been easy for a while, there are situations that happen that you gotta adult up. And this is it. This is the job.
Yeah. And you're exactly right. I am stuck in that position where I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But it's almost getting to a point where I'm almost babying my staff,
Oh yeah, man. It is difficult. I'll say hello to Rage. What's up, Rage? I've had difficulties with staff before. I mean, when I was managing houses, and there's a tendency, because you want to be compassionate, right? You want to be understanding, but on the other hand, it's like, well, things have to get done, right? And once again, having done the job before, it's like, yeah, I've been stuck. I must have told you the time I got snowed into this place at one of the jobs I worked at, and the fire alarm was ringing for over a day, brother. It was just going like over a day in a snowstorm at a dead end street on the April Fool's storm here, people, back in the day. And I volunteered to work it. I went in to the job knowing I would be snowed in. And during the storm, I saw one of our huge bushes just like fall on my car. The alarm's going for 24 hours. And I'm like, I think I blocked out most of it, to tell you the truth. I think I blocked out most of it from my brain. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's some pretty hard and horrific parts to that job.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, like I'll have people come up and say, I don't really like the personal care side of things, or, will this participant need to be like, have their pad changed or nappy changed or something like that? Because I don't really like that sort of thing. And I think, how did you, one, get through your certificates and things, because that's all in there, get into this industry. And I don't, I do hire some people, this is their first job in this industry, but I usually find that those people do a lot better than the ones who have had 2 or 3 or 4 or more jobs and then come along and say, I don't like this particular part of. And I think, well, you can't look after somebody 70%. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Just like you said, let them sit there in their own excrement for your shift and wait for the next person. Like,
this is the job. That means you're going to get everything depending on the person, right? And
everything that can come out of a human.
Everything. What's up, Rage?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm just waking up.
Save us from this conversation, Rage. You're going to be the bright, shining fucking light here.
I manage, and I primarily manage younger folks, and younger folks don't have any work ethic. I said it.
Yeah. I can.
Kids these days.
What's that, Sammy?
People are going to call me an ageist now, but it's just my truth, man. They don't listen to shit.
Well, it's interesting. Give me a second here. There we go. So, it's a tough business that you're in too, Rage. Working in the food industry, there's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah. Only certain people can do it, so you kind of weed out. You kind of weed them out fairly quick, but even the people that can, you end up as I heard Sammy saying, you just end up babysitting and you end up doing half of their shit for them.
Yeah. And we were talking about before the show is that Sammy made the comment, and that's why I smoke. And it's like, well, that's why I was drinking really hard on Sunday, right? But these kind of jobs do affect people, right? And I've worked in the service, I've worked in restaurants before, and that kind of behavior is just rampant, right? High pressure stuff, and so after your shift, you go out drinking or you do stuff, risky behavior.
Oh yeah. One of the things about this food industry, the restaurant business, is Me Too hasn't affected it at all. We have this 18-year-old girl, new girl, trying to train her, and she's never been a server before. She's never worked in a restaurant before. Really cute, young 18-year-old girl, and she is already wanting to quit because the 60-year-old customers are grabbing on her ass, pulling the sexual harassment. And it's just, I don't know, it's something that I've observed being in this business for so long that I don't see it ever really changing. Yet at the same time, it's like something needs to change here. It's some kind of reform needs to hit the industry, not only money wise, because people aren't making enough money and they're relying on tips, but just the culture of the business itself.
Yeah. So I got to, and this is the problem with working for tips too. For those of you who've gone, into other countries, you'll, like the first time I was in London, first time I was overseas, it's like, oh, so you don't work for tips. Well, that creates a totally different vibe between, the person who's serving you and the customer, and I think it's positive because it's so, I'm going to use the word codependent, right? About how wait staff have to just suck it up from the use they get from customers.
Oh yeah. And there's some abuse I can step in as a manager. So definitely with the 18-year-old girl, once she didn't come to me, but I overheard it. So I went to the guy and kicked him out. And you can't treat my workers like that. But it is the culture, and I think. A lot of the culture is, it is that low tier job for most people. So it's usually your people starting out in the workforce. They don't have much experience in combating, sexual harassment, things like that. They don't know how to cope with it. So it does become an issue. And then also, as a manager, when I was serving and bartending, it wasn't so observable. But as a manager, I can sit back and I can see, just kind of how stuck our culture is in that 90s mentality. We think that we've come so far, but at the same time, we haven't come far at all.
Well, that's the thing, like Sammy and I were talking about how people are treated when they're elderly or have a disability. People, if the species lasts in another 100, 200 years, that they'll look back on us like we're barbarians, basically. And rightfully so, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I totally think that. But I do want to kind of, I'm not sure where Sammy went. Hopefully Sammy will come back. I did want to kind of switch the topic on you, because I saw you comment on the Mr. Atheist situation, and then I started looking into it. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I was kind of interested in your thoughts on his I Messed Up video.
I saw the first 15 minutes of it, and I have to tell you, I wasn't impressed because, being able to give an apology, I think it's a lot of people don't know how to give an apology, but part of it is saying, I'm sorry, this is what I did wrong. I'm going to try not to do this again. I'm making a good faith effort. And stop. That's what you did. You stop it. You stop the video. You don't give anything else is secondary. And this is why I think he's a grifter, and this is why I think he's a scam artist, is the fact that he just put it into a poor me, sorry me, hey, give me some money. I'm going to run ads on this. He's telling his fucking people, you're too fucking stupid to understand that I'm a fucking con man. Fuck you, Jimmy Snow. Fuck you, Sideways with a fucking claw hammer. That guy.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of how I felt after watching the whole thing. It was, because he made some points during it that I could I understand that. I'm going through that myself, so I can understand, some of his points on how he was feeling. But at the same time,
this isn't about you. This isn't about your feels.
Exactly.
Once again, I think
that's what I didn't like about it. Yeah.
If this is a fucking theme of this show, of this channel, it's being a fucking adult. I had to apologize to someone a couple of weeks ago. And you know what I did? I had some secondary issues. I had some tertiary issues with the other person. I sat down face to face and did I'm sorry. This is what I did wrong. I'm going to do my darndest not to do it again. And I'm sorry. I did the 4 stages. Yeah. And that we were done. And we're going to take care of those side issues later on, but not at that moment, because that was about them. This is about me doing something wrong and apologizing for it.
Yeah. And the thing that I didn't like the most is it kind of glossed over the elitism of these really popular YouTube atheists. Like when it comes to like Rachel Oates, one of the things I got into it with the polytheist a year ago was how quickly they turned on her just because she was associated with somebody they considered to be a transphobe. I didn't never see that, especially with Rachel. I wasn't going to be willing to turn on her for a one association where I didn't even know if that person was indeed a transphobe or not. But the difference between what was going on with Rachel back then and what's going on with Mr. Atheist is this Hannah chick. There's no getting around that. There's no not knowing what this woman has been doing on the internet since she started on the internet. So that's the one thing. It's like, you don't want to be labeled a rape apologist, and yet you apologize for a rape apologist. I don't understand that,
Yeah. So how you doing, Dave? I haven't said hello to you. It's good to see you. Yeah, I've been around for a while, so I thought I'd say hello.
I actually worked yesterday, so it was out there in the sunshine, burning my poor little white arms, having a good old time. Yeah, I know you sent me a message about Jimmy Snow, and I didn't watch. I watched like 3 or 4 minutes of the intro to the video, and I was waiting for that initial. This is what I did wrong. This is my apology. And I'm going to explain why what happened and why I said what I said. And it just wasn't there. And I never watched the rest of it.
Right. Because you just assumed that the person's disingenuous, right?
At that point, I had already told you this, but I had stopped watching Jimmy Snow's content months ago.
Yeah, me too.
Just because of the content. It became unappealing. It became very monetized. and very directly monetized. When he's self-deprecating and then saying, and you can help me get through this by sending me money, like I was like, bye-bye.
I really go out of my way not to like fucking shit on other atheists, right? But it was so gratuitous. It was so gratuitous. It was so horrible.
I don't watch him. I would have never even known that this was going on had I not seen Andy's post about it. And I'm like, oh, what's going on with Jimmy Snow? I haven't watched him since he stopped being Mr. Atheist.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what's going on. I heard what you said earlier about Rachel and Hannah. That's as much as I know. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'll have to watch it and catch up if it's worth it.
I think the main thing is that he tried to tell Rachel what to do with her book reviews. That's the main thing. Rachel was doing a book review on Hannah's book of poetry, just trashing it. That's kind of what Rachel Oates does.
And that's why I stopped watching Rachel Oates. Is the complete garbage, lowest common denominator, bottom shit on somebody else's content video. Just wasn't for me to spend my time watching.
Me too. I stopped watching her, probably a year ago when her content changed and went from, I actually enjoyed her makeup videos talking about atheism. I don't enjoy the new content.
Yeah. No, everyone in the chat's asking what he did.
I'm gonna drop. I got the subreddit. Here, I'm looking it up right now. So if you guys can, unless someone else has a subreddit on this.
But yeah, I mean, mainly the bad things is, he told Rachel Oates that she needs to take down a video, pretty much using his clout. And then this Hannah person is a known rape apologist, and he has come out as being friendly with this person. So, considering Jimmy Snow's advocacy over the last few years, I think a lot of people are just like, what the hell is going on here?
So that is the subreddit. You're gonna have to ask to join. I got on it, I don't know, a couple of days ago, and I just kind of so I have a basic, but I'm not going to try to explain it because it's
kind of hard to explain, but I'm still kind of finding out about it. Like, do I want to cover this?
It's the apology video that really got me going.
Yeah, that apology video is just awful. It's bad.
But it's like his fourth apology video for some content he's created.
So all right. So Jimmy is all right. Okay, so maybe he is okay. So I haven't followed it since I've been cranking out material, and so I'm not completely updated on the situation with Jimmy, but supposedly he could be in serious trouble.
And I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, we can totally drop this. I wouldn't want to mess with anybody's mental health.
Yeah. I mean, if
last time I watched him was when he was defending Kyle. I think he had Kyle on his stream or something. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Kyle and the fact that he's either arrested or in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
You can look at Seamus and John Hamill's show, The Free Thought Prophet, about that mess with the non sequitur show. How did this start? We just started talking about human poo, Sammy, and now we're talking about atheist drama.
That was my fault. I was just interested in Andy's take, but I do want to thank Blazing Wizard Pope. I've been wrestling with, should I cover this? Should I not? With what you're saying, I definitely don't want to add to anybody's mental health issues, so I won't be covering it.
And this is the thing, I really just try to cover stuff that I find intellectually curious. And I think that most people on this channel are interested on are intellectually curious people. And they're not as much into the drama, but they're into, biblical exegesis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or on the news, or on fascism, fighting fascism, or in comedy. Christ, this is supposed to be a comedy channel, I guess, maybe, right?
And if we're being sometimes honest, we don't have 1 million viewers yet, so it's not like this sort of content is getting out and spread wide and thin across the entire nation.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I am going to show this Isabel G, if you don't mind me doing that. Well, I'm going to just read it. The subreddit was made private after death threats associated with a subreddit made to Telltale and his family. So, all right, so that is a private subreddit now. Okay,
but that was before.
Well, Isabel says that the subreddit was made private after the death threats. So, people on the internet, they get hot. And I've only had like a handful of death threats. I mean, really, not even serious death threats. Nothing serious, right? Not in comparison to ex-Muslims or other people like Rage. I'm sure you've gotten your fair share.
I get a ton of them, and I don't wish it on anybody. The psychological torture of that is phenomenal. And like whatever you think of anybody on YouTube, it's the moment you go there, you're losing whatever point that you're trying to make with this person, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to threaten somebody's life over what they say online.
Remember, there's a certain element of different communities and like not where I live. So when I go to other communities, if I go to Philadelphia, if I go down to Oklahoma, if I go down to Memphis, people say things like, even if they're just drag racing or playing a game of poker or whatever, I'm going to take your head off. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to cut you apart. I'm going to, that's part of the language, right?
Yeah.
So, when somebody says, I'm going to kill you, maybe that means I'm going to beat you by a car length or two. Maybe that means I'm going to take all your money at the poker table. Maybe that means something else. It's just been adopted into the language. So I think sometimes there's that knee-jerk reaction. We have to be aware that words are part of the language and part of
that doesn't bother me, but when you're getting emails and they're talking about, I'm gonna hunt down your child, or I know where you live, Jimmy Snow, it does. I mean, people online are crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've done it twice. Dave,
I've done it twice.
Sammy?
Slightly sidestepping into a different area, but similar idea. So there are states here that are looking at trying to legislate psychological abuse.
Hey, I gotta go. I got dispatched for work. I wasn't expecting that today.
Good seeing you, Dave.
Have a good one, Dave. Have a good one.
I'll talk to you guys soon, but I gotta run.
Okay.
See you, Dave. Have a good day. As a form of domestic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I would
so
be
many
down for
women
that.
who haven't been physically abused can't do anything, can't get help, can't report it. So I think that sort of speaks to what you're talking about, Nock. I think unlike what Dave said, I think we need to actually realize how powerful these words are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I think that I try to take legal actions against some of the people that were threatening my child and threatening me, and essentially I was told to shove off. There's nothing we can do. A couple of laws were broken, but when you talk about people in different states, even different countries, it gets really hard to prosecute those laws. So yeah, I definitely think that we need, as a nation, to start really considering what we can do about internet harassment. The fact that people are extremely emboldened behind keyboards and are willing to say stuff in an email or in a side chat that they would never say in real life to another human being.
This is true. France has new laws that they just prosecuted 8 people. We covered the story a couple of days ago, last week. And there was a young woman who said some stuff about Islam on Instagram. She got a ton of death threats, like legit death threats too. And so, there's a special law in France that says that you cannot do this. You cannot just say whatever you want and threaten people. And I think we need something like that over here.
Yeah, me too. I would be fully behind it. Even if it was a damn Republican idea, I'd be behind it.
Well, a good idea is a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just, with my experience, it was very frustrating when I had that the prosecutor tell me, there's some laws were broken here. That one law in particular was targeting a child, which is a serious law. But because these people live in different states, she wasn't willing to do anything about it.
She wasn't willing to do anything about it. So obviously there's a need for a federal law.
Yeah, I think it needs to be national.
Because it's the United States of America, and shit doesn't make sense here.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of sad to hear about Mr. Jim Snow, right, that he's kind of going through that, because I've been going through that myself. That is something that I'll be able to understand and empathize with 100%.
What were you gonna say, Sammy?
The pure irony just hit me of the name of your country.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's the funny thing,
especially because you were saying, it's state this, we need to make it federal because it's the United States of America.
Yeah, dude. Well,
it's completely not united.
No. In comparison to where it was before the Civil War, people referred to the United States of America as a plurality. So that's not like the United States of America was not considered to be a singular noun back then. It was only after the Civil War that people started to referring to the United States of America as a singular unit, as a singular noun.
And I think Clockwork might be in the back room.
No, is Clockwork?
Maybe.
I don't see.
He sent me, let me up, coach, at Laughing in Disbelief.
Oh, yeah, come on in. There should be a link there. Clockwork.
In the description.
Yeah. If you want to come in, there's a description, and the link should be in there. And if you want to come on, you can. Clockwork said that you're a part of. I'm sorry, it's so difficult for me to keep track of two screens. I'm trying to not sound like garbage coming out of my mouth, and paying attention to what everyone was saying while still referring back to the Civil War series by Ken Burns. That's where I learned about that. The United States of America transitioning from being a plural noun to a singular noun. So, but Clockwork Orange, yeah. If you want to come on in, oh, here he is. Thank you. Hey, Clockwork, what's up?
Hey, how's everybody?
Love hearing your voice.
Yeah, I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
Okay. Maybe I've had a little bit too much. Maybe
a little bit
too much. Yeah. So how you been, Clockwork?
Oh, fair enough, I guess.
No, fair enough is good, right?
Yeah. I'm still getting along.
Good for you.
Little doggy.
Well, everybody likes to say that the USA is a democracy. No, we're not. We're a constitutional republic.
Yeah. So. Yeah. This is true. There are definitely democratic features, democracy, small d democracy features to it. And you could definitely make a case that the Constitution was written to put in institutions to prevent small d democracy from spreading, from really taking root in the country in terms of slaves being through fifths, the electoral college.
Those compromises in that first convention, I think, went a long way to establishing oligarchy instead of democracy.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of progress has been in deconstructing the Constitution. A lot of people don't realize that up until the progressive era in the early 20th century, people did not elect senators directly. It was
they were appointed.
So some progress is definitely just deconstructing or taking apart the bad parts of the Constitution.
Which is always been my position. Is I think every country should look at its constitution. I don't know, after a certain amount of time, realize the world changes, time changes the world, and countries should be changing with it. We should be able to look at that constitution and say this part don't work. We should be able to look at Citizens United, and it shouldn't be something that's going to be almost impossible to overturn it. We should be able to adapt as we go as a nation.
This is interesting from D Parks. D writes, David Packman discussed a poll, showed that many states wanted to secede at the moment, and they were all predominantly Republican states. Not surprising.
There was a period under Trump where it was you primarily heard about California talking about it, which, you know, when you talk about California seceding, what they have like the fourth largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
So I think that there's like, you know, they could probably do it and get away with it. But yeah, it's primarily your Texases, your red belt states that are talking about escaping the union that becomes more and more progressive and against what they call their ideals.
I'll say this is that, and this isn't going to be too crazy when you think about the states, right? Is that we would nuke each other first before allowing secession to occur, or there would be some kind of like, we're just going to throw a couple of neutron bombs or a few, you know, the small tactical nukes at each other in some kind, then to have, you know, in another civil war. I think that's not unrealistic.
And what you said to the Constitution and how time changes and countries change. The problem is but my Constitution was written from the Bible, and the Bible was written from God, and God doesn't change.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's hello, girlfriend. I haven't seen the girlfriend for days. She's over in Montana. I just think I should say hello.
You know, and that is a sentiment that I've heard, you know, knowing a lot of rednecks down in North Carolina. They say stupid stuff like that, but I don't understand how they even come to that conclusion, because, you know, when they do so, I think they do a disservice to their God. You're talking about a constitution that recognizes slavery but doesn't do anything about it, right? Like, you know, like once again, we have a slavery issue with God. If you think God had something to do with the Constitution of the United States.
So I'm going to do a little digression about the EU versus here in the States, right? So because God, imaginary God, points out a very good point here that blue states, the rich states, give red states money. Mm-hmm. I don't know of any red states that are actually in the black. Texas is, but that's only because they don't give their people any services. I just want to say that right now. But I can't think of any other red state that actually isn't on the dole. In other words, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, California, the federal government takes our money, our taxes, and gives them to Florida, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama. Now, the thing is, and this has been the problem in the EU, is that people just aren't used to that crap. People weren't used to the idea. German citizens weren't used to the idea of giving money to Greece. And that's one of the differences between the EU and the US in terms of culture, at least. For the US, we just assume, or we don't even know it's happening. It just happens.
Yeah, well, I definitely think it would be a disaster if they did somehow manage to secede. But I think I'm with you. I don't think that, you know, we might see some kind of civil war action in the streets where liberals and conservatives are actually fighting. But I think it's going to be more like if it happens, like, you know, a Handmaid's Tale type situation. Yeah. These extremists, they pull a coup in the government. They use nuclear weapons to take over.
I'll say this, is that Lincoln was right about it has to be one thing or all the other thing, because there is no way the federal government would allow a belligerent, powerful country on its borders. No offense, no offense, Canadians or Mexico, but there is just no way that people in Washington D.C. would allow a new confederacy, a new powerful country on its borders. That's like obviously theocratic and belligerent. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there could be no peaceful separation, because you would then be talking about two countries right on each other's borders with very differing ideals. The war is going to happen regardless, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, what liberals are hoping for, I mean, this is implicit within the atheist community too, and I just want to say this: there is an implicit hope that we will win eventually, as long as we keep the lunatics under control. Religion is decreasing here in the States. Progress is, I guess, happening. And so I think a lot of atheists and liberals are thinking that time is on our side. And you can see why the theocrats definitely believe that the time is not on their side. And that's why they're doing these power grabs.
Well, yeah, I definitely think time is on our side. Eventually, you know, we might not live to see it, but eventually our ideals are going to win out in the end. But it is like what you're talking about. They see that too. So they are making their power grabs, and they're going farther than they've ever gone before, willing to do more than they've ever done before to try to, you know, keep their power.
The girlfriend points out that Canada is not a belligerent country. That's right. That's why they're allowed to be on our continent. I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, we tried to invade them a couple of different times, and
go ahead, Eddie. I don't mean to cut you off.
You would have seemed more sorry if that statement wasn't followed by an evil cackle.
This is true. Well, yes, out of all the evil stuff that comes out of my mouth, smiling helps. If you go, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're the belligerent ones in that relationship so far.
Oh yeah. I mean, what is remarkable, I guess this is me just ranting today. What is remarkable amongst white supremacists, right, amongst racists in general, is that they will always talk about how racial minorities are violent and out of control. And it's like, do you not know your people? Do you not know what we're about? The West has perfected violence on an industrial scale for a long time, and to just project that, and that's what it is. It's psychological projection onto people who don't like you. It is so toxic and insipid.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean, what kind of country would it would be like a horrible place to live if they actually were able to secede, right? Like if they implemented, if they went to their evangelical Christianity, which they placate with their politics, you are definitely talking about a Handmaid's Tale situation. I think, it's like, why would anybody ever allow that? We're trying to stop that in other parts of the world. We're going to let half the country do that here? I don't think so.
Let me talk about Germany in the 1930s. The reason why Germany needed to attack other countries is because the National Socialists were so bad at running their own government. They were running it into the ground. People were talking about the economic miracle of the Germans during the 1930s. Yeah, that's because they were spending all the money. They were just throwing it out the window. And that's why they were like a cancer. They had to take over other countries to take their stuff. I think the South would be the same way. Their standard of living would decrease greatly, and something would have to be done. Something would have to be done if you were in that country, if you were running the Confederacy today. Yeah,
I agree. And that's what, war would be inevitable. There'd be human rights situations. We'd have to step in, and you might as well just hash it out in the streets, but.
And, let me continue with this, is that, people in the South, if the Confederacy did secede, they were hoping to invade Central America and increase the blight, increase industrialized plantations and slavery around the Caribbean. That was the big plan if they had become independent.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all.
I should just do a video of me hitting my head up against the wall in a hilarious but yet not too painful way, and I can just play it over and over again when I get.
Just make one of you head desking.
Yeah.
I mean, and from what I've read, I'm kind of behind on politics, so I haven't been keeping up with my reading. I really need to find out what's going on with McCartney and his picks for this January 6th committee. But from what I've read, that. Those extremists, the people that started what happened on January 6th, carried it out. They don't think that they went far enough, and they're trying to plan an even bigger insurgency right now. So, I think we're nowhere near out of this yet.
Yeah.
No, we walked right up to the edge, and it'll just take a little push, and there we go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What D Parks just said in the side chat. Yeah, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Definitely.
I have never thought about Confederate foreign policy. Yeah, their Confederate foreign policy was basically a extension of their domestic policy, slavery. That's what it was.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like I've gotten a lot out of me in this 39 minutes that we've been on this after show. Thank you everyone for listening to me. I had to get stuff out.
Oh, fair enough. It's your show, man.
Yeah, I guess so, right? It's on the channel, so I guess it has to be some kind of, I guess I should have to do some kind of ownership for what's on here. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I started streaming about a week ago, and my subscriber count quadrupled.
Oh, really?
in a week. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It went from like 20 to 115 or 116.
Good for you,
Hey,
man.
yeah, thanks. Yeah. And all I do is stream and invite people in, and we talk about whatever.
That's
but
good.
not religion, because that'll get people fighting. And I'm not that kind of channel.
Clockwork Rex, I'm making you a moderator of the channel, so that will allow you to put the link to your channel in the chat.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Sure, man. Yeah. So you say that you just do basically talking about politics and current affairs and stuff?
Oh, we talk about whatever. Just whatever comes up. Yeah.
Cool.
But I try to stay away from religion because, that's going into the thorns, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming a shit show when you talk religion on YouTube. It's, my channel, my mentality is a lot better now that I focus again on edited content as opposed to shitstorm Christians.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, I mean, the people who come on my channel, I'm like, look, I don't believe. If you believe, that's fine with you, but we're not going to talk about it here. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about that, you can go somewhere else because there's plenty of channels.
Yeah, a lot of channels for it now, definitely.
Yep.
Well, that's one of the things I try to do on this channel is try to keep out trolls.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had a stream the other day, and I had 3 people in the back room, and they all were like, "Let me up," and I was like, "No, I don't know you." And then I got porn bombed in the backstage because dude whipped out his Wee Willie Winky, and I was like, "Yeah, you're out."
Yeah, that's the new thing now. That's it's one of the main reasons I just won't do open rooms anymore. I'm not throwing no links in the side chat. People coming in porn bombing and trying to get your channel in trouble. It's I'm good with that. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Well, the one guy whipped out his Winky, and the other 2, I was sure if I let them up, they were going to say some fucking horrible shit. So I was like, no.
Well, I had some issues with porn bombing too. So now there's a vetting process basically.
It happened. I was here when it happened to you, Andy. It's like they're hitting more and more channels, and it's like this is their tactic now. And it's just really pathetic.
Yeah, and also I just want to say that there's a vetting process too to get on even the Atheist Comedy Burrito, one of the Facebook groups I run. People sign up or people want to join the group, and I will spend time looking through the profile, checking out what posts they do, because I don't want trash people. I don't want trash people in the group, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm doing now too. It's pretty much people I know. Like Clockwork Rex, he could definitely get into a room, but I'm definitely totally picky about who I'm going to let on the channel from here on out. It's just happened too many times, too many shitstorms. Done with it. My mental health can't take it.
I want to echo D Park's comment on the hoodie, Sam.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear the rustling. I can see you,
Hello.
dude.
Yeah,
we see you.
I think
he's all rainbow.
Today, I am the rainbow dildo monkey butt.
Rainbow dildo monkey butt. Very good, Sam.
But I'm not doing kids shows, adult shows.
No, you're not doing kid shows. No. So, Rach, how are you feeling these days? How was your medical? If you don't mind talking,
I've been doing great. So I've been back to work, full time. It's why people don't see me around as much. I'm first time since the pandemic started. I've been able to work 40 hours a week, but the shot is definitely starting to wear off. So I haven't started taking my medications again yet, but I think that's in the next couple of days because I'm starting to feel it in the top of the right foot. So I'm imagining probably after work tonight, I'm going to really feel it. This will probably be my last week doing 40, but definitely this surgery is going to be in my future. So after the surgery and after the recovery, life I think is going to be pretty decent. It's going to be pretty good.
That's good, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like it's been, it took me like a week and a half just to get over the wonder of having a foot that works again, that not having pain every day, not having to be on all of these medications that just smack mess me up. So it's been a welcome relief, and definitely given me some hope for the future.
That's good, dude. That's good.
What kind of shot did they give you? Was it a cortisone shot?
I'm not sure what it was called. It was a steroid, and then it had a numbing agent. So like the first day, my foot was numb, and it was like super weird. But they injected it right into my ankle, right into the artery down there, and it's designed to do for tarsal tunnel. So it's that vein that's swelling up. It's designed to stop it from swelling for a while, and that's it did what it was supposed to do. So we definitely know that it's tarsal tunnel, and that's fixable. So
That's
Okay,
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah, I am
Yeah,
too. I
man.
was a little nervous about it. If it wasn't tarsal
I'm
tunnel, we were
sure.
gonna, start from scratch and have to figure out what the hell is wrong with it. But yeah, it seems like we figured it out now. So maybe life. It's been 7 years since I've lived without pain. So it's gonna be a new life for me
Yeah.
once I have the surgery.
Fair enough. At least you won't be the raging cyborg.
Yeah. Well, I might not even be the raging atheist anymore. I'm probably going to be too damn happy to be rage.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So, Grant, I'm curious. Did you delay your surgery because of COVID? I know a lot of people did. A lot of people decided not to do surgery because of the pandemic going on.
That's been the huge issue, and I think that's why it's taken so long in between doctor's visits is because so many people are catching up on their doctor's visits from the pandemic.
Yeah. I know I scheduled my doctor's appointment at some point. My physical, that's it. It's all the way in September. So I just need to remind myself when I am supposed to be going to my doctor. Because it just disappears. I just forget about it.
Yeah,
so do I.
do that too. Yeah,
I'm so terrible about it. Like I rely on those reminders that come via text. That's how I find out when I'm supposed to go to my doctor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I go to the store, if I don't make a list, if I just try to keep it in my head, by the time I get to the store, I'm missing 2 things that I should have gotten. So.
Oh yeah, me too. Every single time, it never fails. I get home, I got everything for the tacos, but I don't have no shells or tortillas, something like that.
But I have all the Cocoa Krispies I will ever need.
You just got to remember to write that shit down and put it in your pocket. Remember that you've got it in your pocket. Because I've done that before.
Yeah, that's my problem. I'll write it down, I'll put it in my pocket, and I won't look at it when I'm in the store.
Yeah. Halfway home, you're like, oh, I had a list. God damn it.
My
God damn
phone is full of notes that I never look at.
I can't hear you, Sammy.
My phone, I think the microphone's on the bottom of these things. My phone is full of notes that I've written, to-do lists and things, and then never looked at again.
Well, at least you made the list. I mean, come on now. So, I mean, you had the wherewithal to actually make the list. You might have fucking forgot all about it, but
I will say I keep a notebook, and I don't know if you can see the words here on the notebook. It says reasons why I'm drinking, and I know that there's studies, and this is like a pro tip. If you're looking to actually remember something, and it's better to physically write it down than to type it in to your phone, or because studies have shown that you will remember shit better if you physically write it down on a piece of paper.
I believe that.
Yeah. It just activates a different,
the fancy phone with the pen, so I can write my notes in my phone.
Oh, cool. That's good. Yeah. It's funny is that we had a lot more people on when we were talking. What's that, Sammy?
I just thought Clockwork was going to say something.
Oh, no.
This is how polite we are on this channel. We're like, oh, did you say something? No. Well, were you going to say something? Well, let me just say something. Is that it's funny how the amount of people that were watching the show spiked up while we were talking smack about Jimmy Snow. And that brought in the EA show. who's like, I want to talk about how great Allah is. It's like, I'm sorry, sir, that's not this kind of show.
I didn't even see Khalil was there. I haven't been
because
looking
that's
at
how
the
good I
site yet.
am. I'm good at being able to run my mouth while still like banning people from the channel at the same time.
And again,
how
the
good I am.
Mr. Atheist thing was my fault. It wasn't
Flawless.
Andy's. I brought it up. It's my fault.
That's okay, Ray. That's okay. Obviously, I felt something. I felt strongly about it.
Yeah, it's just I of course I didn't know what was going on, or I never would have, but it was just something that I saw over the weekend that I was interested in, and like, you know, should I cover this? They're gonna say I'm at for views no matter what way I take on it, right? So I've been like, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, you know, just wondering if I should cover it. Now I know, nope, I probably shouldn't cover it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say that I was part of the non sequitur show, and Bull was my friend, and so was McGinnis. And when that shit blew up, and there was that split, some people sided with Kyle, some people sided with Steve, and I was like, no, thank you, and washed my hands of it and walked away.
Yeah, that's what I try to keep the neutral ground on it, you know, and you know, like I liked Bull. He was probably the person I was closest with of the three. So yeah, I try to stay neutral on it, as everybody around me just went to war, and I'm like, damn it, keep me out of this.
Yeah, I'm not taking sides in this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad what happened to Bull.
Mm-hmm. I genuinely cried when I found out about Bull.
Yeah,
and
yeah, me too.
I shed a few tears.
Like, it was like
But
the day before, you know. It was just.
Well, I had talked to him on December the 23rd, and then he died the day after Christmas. So, but I know how he died. So we can talk about that offline.
Okay.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really sad time and unexpected, and just that whole situation with the non sequitur show. Like I still miss the show. Like it was the best show that I thought it was the best show on YouTube. Right up there until the end. The last couple weeks of it was garbage, but up until that point, it was a damn good show, man.
Yep. I wasn't big into the whole flat Earth thing because I'm like,
yeah, I never got into that either.
Yeah, they're dumb. You know, when I found out the Earth was round, when my parents got me a telescope when I was 8.
Yeah, like I can't see how you come to the conclusion that NASA is a fraud, and all these images, and you know, our ability to see into space is a fraud, and you know, like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the moon is a hologram and shit like that. That's just come on now.
Yeah, that's too much conspiracy idiocy for me, man. I can't take it.
Yeah, I can get behind the reptilians before I get behind.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I had.
It's. Sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
It's just so not a big leap from a sky daddy
to the flat Earth.
Either.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You know, if you can believe in a sky daddy, then you might as well go the whole hog.
Mm-hmm.
I think Voltaire said that, Sammy.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Yeah. So.
If you can have someone believe you, and it can make you believe in absurdities, you'll just go full hog.
Oh yeah.
Like it's made me stop liking people that I've liked before. Like I can't remember his name. Like there's this one guy. He was this rapper. He rapped with T.I. a lot. I can't remember his name right now, but I really dug his music. And then he went flat Earth, and I'm just like, oh, God, you're an idiot. I can't listen to you anymore. And I just stopped listening to the guy. I can't listen to stupid, even if it's good music. You know.
Yeah, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson actually talked about that when the news came out. If it's the same incident of the rapper. I think he's like, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson has a nice way of saying things.
Yeah, a lot nicer than we do. So.
Oh yeah.
Should hear him sing. And he has
dodecahedron Earth.
The dodecahedron Earth is the way, indeed.
Wait, is that the 20-sided die?
I think that's just twin-sided.
So I recently seen Neil deGrasse Tyson on CNN talking about these rich people going up into space, and he actually made a really good point. We are giving them a lot of shit, and I think it's a waste of their money, but they are kind of putting their health at risk for supposedly something that Neil deGrasse Tyson thinks is going to be commercial fairly soon. It's not going to be just rich people going up into space. It's going to be normal people. So I thought that was an interesting interview, and he had an interesting take that kind of, yeah, sure, Bezos should be trying to cure world hunger instead of going to space, but at the same time, he's just a piece of shit, and this is something that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I made fun of Bezos and Virgin Atlantic and the other billionaires. But yeah,
Bronson and Elon Musk and all of them are trying to do it now.
It isn't all just one thing. It isn't. It is somewhat nuanced, and even though I will still say that there's billionaires shouldn't exist, right?
Fair.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But if they do exist, they should be doing, like, how can you just be a human being and have all of that money and capital and not do something to help the situation of your fellow human beings? I don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. And
you placate yourself with meaningless donations to charities. Like you could end world hunger. You have enough money and you'd still be a billionaire,
Yeah.
He's not even trying to be Batman. What a waste.
Yeah, what a waste of money.
All right.
That's like the best meme on the internet right now.
Right. So I'm going to start closing out the show because I got to be going to work later on today. Rach, what do you got going on, brother?
I just got premiere videos coming out by the ton. I'm taking it back to that. I got a really interesting one coming out tomorrow. I'm thinking about maybe doing a live show here today. I haven't decided yet, kind of introducing the guy, but it's about Joe Biden having snake eyes, and it's a Christian pastor. It's going to be hilarious. You're not going to want to miss it tomorrow at noon.
So Joe's a reptilian. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'll promise Sammy I will not be unloading all of my emotional issues the next time that we talk to each other. I'll be a little bit more,
Yeah, please do. Yeah, Sammy's got a shoulder you can cry on all day long.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, Sammy, once again. Clockwork Rex, when do you stream? When do you do your stuff?
Random. It's just random. Yeah, it's just random. I might do something later. I might not. I might take a nap instead. So, it's just random.
I like the chaotic neutral nature of your channel, sir. I just subscribed, by the way.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to do the same crazy thing tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thanks for watching, right? Whatever we just did here. Thanks for watching. Thanks, panel, too. I've had a very enjoyable time.
Oh, and thank you for letting me shill my shit.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No worries.